When you bring up some of the most popular artists of the mid-2000s, someone that almost always gets left out is Ciara. She blew up shortly after graduating high school and dropped hit after hit after hit for several years. But seemingly just as fast as she came up, she disappeared right in front of us. It's gotten to the point where a lot of the younger crowd only knows her as Russell Wilson's wife. So how did the princess of Crunk&B turn into just the trophy wife of a star QB? What happened to Ciara?
Yeah. My English teacher is the reason I put pressure on your neck. Black intelligence is just as dangerous as a tech. Bet. Don't let me get the buck and have the whole crowd ducking. I ain't even done yet.
Ciara Harris was born on October 25th, 1985 on the Fort Hood military base in Texas. Being an Army brat, she moved around a bunch throughout her childhood, but eventually her family landed in Atlanta. Ciara's first real music endeavor was starting the girl group Hearsay, which I'm sure could have rivaled even Destiny's Child, but it didn't last long after the group hit creative differences that led to their disbanding. Ms. Harris didn't let her music dream die there though. She continued writing songs and was so good at it that she landed a publishing deal with a company that I still can't identify. But she was just a songwriter at the time and ended up writing Got Me Waiting for Fantasia. But being in Atlanta, Ciara was living in a hotbed for a bunch of different music. Atlanta has spawned a variety of artists, producers, and writers. One of its natives fits into all three of those categories and then some. That's Jazzy Faye, an Atlanta legend. Jazzy Faye linked up with Ciara while she was still a songwriter, but he quickly recognized her abilities as an artist and wanted to be her producer. The two were a match made in music heaven. In 2002, they made 4 demos that would all end up being on her debut album: Thug Style, Looking at You, Pick Up the Phone, and 1-2 Step. 1-2 Step was one of the very first hits that Ciara released. It featured Missy Elliott and was accompanied by a music video that showcased Ciara in Atlanta teaching people how to 1-2 step. The song blew up and ended up reaching number 2 on the Billboard 100 chart. But 1-2 Step was just one of the first hits that would be on Ciara's debut album, Goodies. Goodies, the album, was released in September of 2004, and it also contained the smash hit single, Goodies. The song featured Petey Pablo and was basically the female counterpart to Usher's hit song Yeah. It was a massive hit and made sense to why the album was named after this particular single. The Goodies album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart, and its handful of hits really helped put Ciara on the map for a ton of people. Ciara has never really had the greatest voice, but that didn't matter because she did have a ton of dances and extremely vibrant production from Jazzy Faye that allowed her to dominate a new style, Crunk&B. Lil Jon really helped explode crunk music beyond Atlanta in the late 90s and early 2000s. Jazzy Faye and Ciara took crunk and Ciara's R&B style to create Crunk&B, making Ciara the first lady or princess of Crunk&B. She followed up her debut album with Ciara The Evolution, which contained a handful of more hits in Get Up, Like a Boy, Promise, and Can't Leave 'Em Alone. This album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart and went platinum in just 5 weeks. For a few years, Ciara was one of the biggest female artists in music. It seemed like she was on the trajectory to have her own lane alongside Rihanna and Beyonce, until she wasn't. A big reason Ciara was putting out so many smash hits was because she had Jazzy Faye as a producer. And by the time she was ready to make her third album, the two went their separate ways. Whether it was because of creative differences, financial differences, I'm not sure, but it seemed like Ciara wanted to make more of a name for herself on her own. In the sports world, we see this all the time. You have an all-time great duo that eventually wants to see if they can have just as much, if not more success without their other half. Kobe and Shaq, they both showed they didn't necessarily need each other. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, Tom Brady for sure is showing he was the more important piece in that duo, but we'll see moving forward. In that case of Ciara and Jazzy Faye, musically speaking, neither one would experience as much success as they had in the past. Ciara had a good amount of success with her third album, Fantasy Ride, but after that, her music went south. The release of her fourth album was mishandled by her label, and she described that at one point she had to pay out of her own pocket for promotion. But as far as the music itself goes, her sound became less crunk and more so pop and R&B, which takes away a big part of what makes Ciara unique. Because her music was a bit stale, she was really more of a dancer, and the most interesting part about her was seeing her outfits and her dancing when she would perform live. And because she ages like a fine wine, she started transitioning to a career that was more so based on her looks, striking brand deals, modeling, appearing on TV, in movies. She was still making music too, but since the 2010s, you've most likely seen Ciara more than you've heard her. She was with Atlanta's finest Future for a little while, and they ended up having a son together. But shortly after they split, she ended up with Russell Wilson, got married to him, and they're very much still together as of me making this video. So if the dynamic duo of Ciara and Jazzy Faye would have stuck together for longer, I really do think Ciara would have gotten much bigger. Hey, who's to say that she couldn't have ended up being just as big as Rihanna? Ciara's vocals were never the greatest, but because of her dancing, her style, her delivery, and Jazzy Faye's production, she was able to make a bunch of hits. She's still making music, she's still around, just in a different light. Leave a comment with your favorite Ciara song and who you'd like to see featured on the next What Happened To video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for a new video every weekend, and follow my Galactic Grizzly Spotify playlist, which features a lot of the music I'm currently listening to. The link is down in the description below. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace. And ended up writing Got Me Waiting for Fantasia.
I come home and there's cold pizza on the stove. I sit down in the hole.